Spacefaring civilizations across the galaxy rely on the drift for safe, reliable, faster-than-light travel. Drift travel connects worlds, facilitates transportation and communication, and creates an interstellar community via beacons that serve as waypoints of the drift. Some believe the drift could be even better, and they're willing to risk everything to prove their theories. Triune, a deity composed of the aspects of three older gods, revealed the drift 3 centuries ago with the signal, a galaxy-wide communication some received as audio transmissions, but which, on other worlds, was hidden within art, etched into stone, or seen inside dreams. Regardless of the form it took, the signal contained the technological information needed to build a drift engine, a device that allows a starship to enter the drift plane and cross vast interstellar distances in a matter of days. Many questions surround the drift. Did Triune create the drift, discover it, or hide it before finally revealing it? The drift has strange properties. It's inhabited by bizarre and little understood creatures, and each time the drift is used, it absorbs a small piece of another plane. Triune encourages innovation, and for 3 centuries, engineers and physicists worked to refine drift technology without much success. Some within Triune's church believe the deity always intended for mortals to improve upon drift travel. One group of these faithful, the architects, believe it has finally made progress. It's been 5 years since the siege of Absalom Station. In the wake of that bloody and devastating day, a new drift beacon appeared in the station's orbit. This drift beacon differed from all others as it was filled with cosmic, magic energy surrounded by an impenetrable purple force field. For half a decade, the drift beacon orbited Absalom Station, enhancing the shields that protected the star station but revealing none of its secrets. Scientists, mystics, looters, and technicians have all tried to break through to the anomalous beacon, but to no avail. No traditional methods have been successful. This anomaly beacon has been at the center of political debate as there have been opposing viewpoints on just who has jurisdiction and claim over this beacon. The Church of Triune, specifically the architects, believe that they should have sole ownership and control over the beacon as the drift is Triune's domain. However, the Pact Worlds and Absalom Station believe that it is in their interest and safety to be the overseers of this anomaly, since it orbits their homes. Councilwoman Rajni, the Absalom Station representative on the Pact Council, has a personal connection to the anomaly beacon, and for the last 5 years, she has managed to keep control of access to the beacon within the jurisdiction of Absalom Station. But recently, that hold has come into jeopardy. Her information gathering team has received word that the architects of Triune have claimed to have found a way through the force field, that they are working on a newly discovered code that will deactivate the protective barrier. The Triunites haven't gone public with this information yet, so the councilwoman has used this intel to put together a team of her own to try to beat the architects to the solution. Councilwoman Rajani decided to put together a team of niche specialists with the hope that a fresh and unorthodox look at the anomaly beacon may crack the code. But she needed help recruiting this team of scientists. The councilwoman reached out to her good friend, Professor Marana. He has been teaching at the Kuvakara School for Magic and Technology on Verces for several years now, and he agreed to help put together Rajni's team of specialists. The scientists have been assembled and are now aboard the Marana, a research vessel named after the Verthani professor himself. The Marana is now hurtling through the drift en route to Absalom Station when suddenly the ship is violently pulled from the drift plane and into the material plane by the telltale signs of a pirate ship. It all happens so fast. The Marana emerges from the drift only to find the entire system on the verge of a deadly solar storm. This regular occurrence would have been easy enough to avoid by simply reactivating the drift engine as the standard procedure when such dangerous weather phenomena occurs, but that's when the pirates attack. Cobalt, the captain of the pirate vessel Primordial orders the Marana to surrender as pirates tether their ships together, berserkers flying the flag of their deity Besmara the Pirate Queen. They have swarmed aboard, bound for engineering, where they can sabotage the Marana's drift engine to prevent escape. As we zoom into the interior of the Marana itself, we start in the science vessel's chapel area, a modest space with the symbols of Desna, Iomedae, and other lesser deities decorating its walls. Over the intercoms, we hear the voice of the Marana's energy and drift specialists.
Attention! We have been ambushed by pirates! To make matters worse, there is a solar storm approaching, and it looks devastating. We have to break the tethers now and get the hells out of here!
An older Lashunta woman in scholarly robes looks panicked at this news, her antennae wiggling in anxiety and fear. Next to her, a bronze-skinned Riforian woman moves to console her and give her instructions.
Jamila, stay put. We'll handle the pirates. You'll be safest here in the chapel. Get word to Absalom Station. If this goes bad, we'll need them to know what's happening. We'll be all right.
Jamila calms down for a moment, and then, heeding Raya's instructions, begins to start composing a distress message to send to Absalom Station. The intercoms sound once again, and the voice of the walrus-like Morlama ship technician rumbles out.
This is Walter, reporting from the bridge. The pirates are making their way towards the engineering bay to disable our drift.
Walter's message is interrupted by the sickening thud and then silence. Raya looks to Jamila worried, but it seems that the sage's anxiety has been replaced with a look of determination. Raya Noxia Tyro pulls her crimson skirt up and ties it in a knot at her knees to allow her better freedom of movement, and makes her way towards the weapons locker down the hall. We move now to the gym and training facilities of the Marana, where we see the intimidating figure of a four-armed Kasatha intently listening to the chatter over the comms, taking in the situation, and making his assessment before leaping into action. The masked face hides any indication of what the Kasatha may be feeling, but his lithe movements and the refined curved blade of his adachi in his hand shows a presence of speed and martial training. As he hears Walter's message, his grip tightens against the white cloth wrappings of the adachi's hilt, and with a swish of his flowing black robes, Sayun of Clan Vaho races to the engineering bay. Sayun and Raya meet in the corridor just outside the engineering bay. In exchanging determined glances, they open the hatch. Inside, a pirate works furiously to override the ship's security measures. As the pair of scientists move in to stop the interloper, Raya shouts,
Step away from the console!
And Sayun wordlessly glides across the room, sword raised, to menace the pirate, Raya close on his heels. Suddenly, behind them, 3 more pirates rush into the engine room, looking far more menacing than the technician at the console. A pirate, wielding a large shield bearing the crest of Besmara, rushes the Kasatha and Riforian with 2 bruisers behind him. The Marana crew members see the battle frenzy in the pirates' eyes and brace themselves for a fight. Elsewhere, in the research vessel, Gilderon Whistlepop burst into the laboratory to find Subana, a chronometrist from the Vescarium, bent over a work table, furiously rifling through protocol manuals.
We are under attack. Walter is on the bridge, and I think he has been injured by the pirates.
Yeah, I heard the comms. Come here and help me find the emergency ship computer override codes. Maybe we can slow these pirates down.
The pale-skinned bleachling gnome rushes over to the work table and starts flipping through the documents. Having paper documents was meant to guard against hacking, but that meant that it was slow going to find any information in the dense manuals. Subana lets out a growl of frustration.
This is supposed to be Finn's job. He knows all this stuff inside and out.
Gilderon squirms a little awkwardly, knowing that he took Finn's place on this team after the technomancy student fell ill days before the journey's launch.
Don't worry, Subana. We will find it.
And as if saying the words summoned the information, Gilderon landed directly on the power kill protocol.
Here it is!
Good work, Gildy.
And the Vesk rushes over to the console to enter the code. A few moments later, the power on the Marana is killed and the ship is plunged into darkness.
Okay, that's done. Now to get down to the dirty work. You armed?
I only have my family's side armor.
That'll do.
But what about you?
Subana pulls back her dark olive lab coat to reveal a rifle slung around her back.
A Vesk is never unarmed.
In the engineering bay, Sayun and Raya stand panting over the pirates' unconscious bodies, staring down the terrified Besmaran technician. Okay, I'll surrender, please. I'm just a tech support. I'm no threat. Sayun wipes blood from his face and pulls the shield off the unconscious marauder and straps it to his arm.
I think I could use this. Perhaps a few practice swings of the shield upon your head. To find the balance, of course.
The pirate shrinks in fear against the massive form of the four-armed Kasathan. Please, I'm nothing. I'm no threat. I swear, I promise. Sayun stares menacingly into the blithering human's eyes and then turns his back as Raya walks over and uses the butt of her gun to knock the pirate unconscious.
All right, to the bridge?
To the bridge.
Subana, the scaled Vesk chronometrist, and Gilderon, the gnomish combined energy theorist, make an unlikely duo of scientists turned warriors running to take on the encroaching berserkers. As they approach the bridge, they both find a growing bud of heroism in their core, perhaps inherent, maybe previously laying dormant. At a junction of ship corridors, the two researchers see the four-armed gray-skinned Sayun and the bronzed figure of Raya rushing toward them, looking as if they've already seen a scuffle, but ultimately are no worse for wear. Raya nods to Subana and Gilderon.
We took care of the intruders in the engineering bay.
Clowns, barely befitting of the name pirate. Foolish and disgraceful. They were easily dispatched.
Subana is surprised at the urgency in which her battle mind comes into focus. It is as if time contracted for the Vesk, and she was back in that military training center. You can take the Vesk out of the Veskarium and all that, she responds tersely.
That's good. That means we stand a chance at taking this ship back.
Gilderon holds a hand up for everyone to catch their breath, and he takes a moment to reassess now that their number has grown. The pilot looks through one of the portholes of the Marana and sees the pirate ship truly for the first time. The enemy vessel was outfitted with chaos sails, an unstable alternative to drift travel that relies on the chaos of the maelstrom to travel. Gilderon studies the speed and trajectory of the light being projected by the incoming solar storm and does some quick calculations in his head.
Chaos sails.
Gilderon refocuses on the imminent danger and turns to the rest of the researchers.
We have to go. Now. If the sunstorm hits us while we are still attached, it will rip both ships apart.
Sayun pushes past the pilot before the words have left his mouth, and with determination, the rest of the team follows. The crew breaches the bridge hatch to find a Lashunta pirate lieutenant at the console, her hands crackling with forceful energy. There are 4 other pirates in the bridge, all brandishing their clubs and pistols, grinning in a malicious frenzy for the fight. Lying unconscious on the ground is one of the ship's engineers, Walter. His walrus-shaped Morlama body lays still, but Gilderon can still see faint signs of breathing. At the sight of the berserkers, Raya curses to herself, wishing she had had the time to don her armor. She would have to rely on the old-fashioned way, dodging and keeping distance. Gilderon, desperate to get to the piloting controls, rushes in behind Sayun as the lasers begin blasting and the blades begin swinging. The combat is fast and clumsy, the anxiety of the incoming storm weighing on both sides of the conflict. The hull of the Marana shakes as the magnetic force of the storm approaches. The beautiful but dangerous Lashunta Technomancer unleashes her charged energy from her hands as 3 skull-shaped projectiles race towards Sayun's midnight-hued robes. The trio of magical blasts all find their purchase on the Kasatha and knock him to the ground just as he takes down a marauder in the process. Raya shouts out and draws a healing serum as she runs over to Sayun's unconscious body. As the crew of the Marana fights the pirates of the Primordial, the Besmaran captain's voice sounds over the science vessel's comms.
Monacida, get back here. We need to haul anchor, lest the solar storm bake us all.
The Lashunta looks irritated by her captain's order and responds, "We can still do this. I've got things under control." And as she says that, she looks up to see that the scientists have vested her guards and are barreling down on her. "No, stop!" She extends her hand towards the researchers and unleashes another barrage of force. The projectiles split into multiple arcs, striking Subana and Gilderon, slowing their approach. Gilderon then breaks off from Subana to make his way to the pilot controls in hopes that he can still restore power, separate their ships, and engage the drift engine before the solar storm hits. The entire hull is shaking now, and Monacida is standing off with Subana, threatening her with another barrage of magic, ready to take the fight to the end. Then, from behind the Vesk time physicist, Raya and Sayun stand, and the Kasatha utters,
Fall down 7 times, stand up 8.
And now, with 4 armed and angry scientists turned defenders, the ship literally being torn apart, Monacida knows she has lost, and drops her hands. "We have failed, Besmara. I surrender in shame."
That is great. Now get the hells out of the way, or we're all going to be killed. I will start the drift engines. Someone call over...
On it already.
The Vesk raises the primordial on the comms.
Captain Cobalt, please detach your tethers. Otherwise, we'll all die if you don't disengage, for our lives and yours.
No time to cut the tethers now. We might kill each other, or the galaxy might do it for us. Or perhaps the maelstrom will save us both. Either way, isn't it glorious?
The crew watches in horror as the scanners indicate that Cobalt has engaged the primordial's chaos sails. Gilderon looks to the crew behind him and says,
We have to try. We will surely die if we stay.
He engages the drift engine, the sunstorm now upon them. The Marana's drift engine engages. The swirling green and purple clouds of the drift become visible before its bow. The primordial unfurls sparkling sails that catch invisible chaos energy and begin to pull that ship into the maelstrom. Some of the tethers binding the ships together snap, but not all. As the ships enter their respective planes, a devastating wave of energy crashes through the drift, breaking upon the bow of the Marana and flinging it directly into the primordial as it enters the maelstrom. The pirate ship's chaos sails shred and tear. Metal groans as the 2 vessels collide. The groaning ceases as the 2 ships somehow, impossibly, merge into one. The primordial's hull, transparent and ghostly, passes through the hull of the Marana until the ships occupy the same space. The blue-skinned Fentomite captain slides into view, his forehead lined with ridges. Cobalt is clenching the bridge controls in a desperate attempt to stay on his backward-bending legs. Slowly, the Marana and the primordial settle into each other, neither entirely attacked. The combined vessel, an amalgam of both starships. The new vessel, with both crews at the helm and the merged bridge, crashes through the drift and the eternal chaos of the maelstrom, leaving both behind. One planar barrier after another breaks upon the ship's prow as red emergency lights flash and alarm klaxons ring. The plane of fire crackles outside their ship. Then they are hurtled into the plane of time, living entire lifetimes in moments. The crushing force of the plane of Earth threatens to smash them all before they are then careening through the first world, wonders and dangers twinkling just outside their ship. The members of the research team each feel this violent whiplash-inducing sprint through planes and time. Ryanoxia Tyro feels something dark and cold awakening within every cell of her body. She sees icy scales form on her bronze skin, and her breath turns cold in her lungs and throat. Her body is a riot of rapid microscopic changes, and she is overwhelmed by evolutionary possibilities that hit her like an iceberg in the dark sea. To Raya's shock, this blizzard of mutations feels inexplicably, impossibly draconic. Sayun of Clan Vaho can see the void before his Kasathan eyes. He reaches out with 2 of his forearms and can actually touch the entropic force, bending to his will. He now sees that his goals for fighting the void had only now just begun. As they pass through the plane of time, Subana Grimfang's Vesk scales tingle with newfound dexterity, and the Vesk can see the temporal threads weaving before her. With focus, she knows she can move quick enough to grab one of these threads and send ripples down time. Gilderon Whistlepop's consciousness thins and stretches under the weight of the plane's energies. He feels the energy enter his body and mind as the Marana careens through the barriers that separate the planes. The shifting, fractal patterns of the planes threaten to snuff out his existence. Yet before he disappears and fades into the fabric of the universe, the flutter of wings encompassing the concepts of reality itself begin to exert calm authority over the chaos in his soul. He is reborn anew. Even as the crew are experiencing these wonders, the combined Marana and Primordial's now singular hull is still hurtling through the planes, time and space. The force of this chaotic journey is threatening to rip the ship asunder, and cries of terror, alarm, and wonder from both the research team and the pirate crew fills the enjoined bridge. Just as it seems the ship will take itself apart, a final barrier breaks. The ship hurtles through a crimson sky of dark clouds and floating embers, revealing a barren and volcanic desert pitted with black rock and geysers of hellish flame. Cobalt shouts, "Brace for impact!" Welcome to Drift Delvers. Welcome to episode 1 of the Strange Table Fellows' newest show, back on the main feed, back on the weekly releases, jumping into some more Starfinder. So excited for this adventure. I've been prepping this for what feels like 3 years almost. But we're here. I hope you guys enjoyed the little prologue. But right to start all this off, I have to introduce the table. Okay, that's just what you do in these things. In episode 1, you introduce the people that are going to be playing. I will say we have a bit of a different cast than was on our main show, but we're very excited about that because we have joining the main show for the very first time, Dustin Robinette. What's happening? Woo! Welcome to the main feed.
Oh, it's a joy to be
We
here.
now expect your arms, legs, and soul at all times.
You got it, man. And to all the listeners, you can have a piece of me as well. Just send me your address. I'll get it to you. Express shipping, man.
It's a hair plucked right from the top of his
Exactly. I'll just shave my face and just one single hair in an envelope.
Dustin, tell me one interesting fact about you.
One interesting fact. There's a lot of interesting facts about me.
I only want one.
One. Okay. I'm covered head to toe except my head with hair.
So, like, more like cheek to toe.
Yes. Like, right where the ears start, like...
Yes.
And then down with hair. Yep. My entire body.
No,
every single bit. Even my palms.
Harry and the Hendersons, but like the guy with the ball, the Bigfoot's where he's just balding on top, It's just one 6 foot long tonsure,
Chiming in there is none other than John Thomas. You guys know him and love him. What's up, John?
Hey, what's up, man? What's up, y'all?
We're just here playing some Starfinder. What are you doing?
I thought I'd just kind of come in, kick it, see what y'all were doing.
We're playing. I'm going to ask you a question here, John.
Yeah, I figured you would.
Tell me, why is it that you like to be muted all the time?
Oh, man. Well, there's just so many treasures and I can only impart one at a time. That's the thing. Okay, so the others I have to withhold. And
I sometimes wonder if you're like workshopping comments before you say them. You have your mic muted, and like you just kind of workshop them, and then we're like, "Hey, you're muted."
I mean, hey. I mean, anything's possible. Anything's possible.
Do you think that your best jokes and your best work is done while the mic is muted?
I think my best jokes are in the sidebar.
Yeah. Your best jokes are in the sidebar.
Very useful for the podcast audience.
You're right.
Listeners, I've been getting on to this man for 5 years about putting his good stuff into the podcast and his non-necessary stuff into the sidebar. We'll get there. This is the show that you're going to do it, John. I have faith in you.
Cross
this is going to be the one.
Man.
Yep. And if you do it in the sidebar, I'm going to call it out. Listeners will know, and you'll have to.
All right. Okay, there we go. We got somebody that's going to sound off my sidebar.
It should be you, but okay. All right. Also joining us for this is Zach Evans.
Hi.
How are you doing, Zach?
I'm well, sir, and yourself?
I'm doing
excited
pretty good.
To be here.
Yeah, me too. What level of excitement do you actually have for this adventure?
That's a very objection leading the witness.
Yeah, fair. Hostile. Permission to treat the witness says hostile.
How pumped are you not?
I'm excited. I'm glad to be here. I'm looking forward to this. I can't wait to get into it, dude. I don't know why you're doubting my enthusiasm.
I'm not. The thing is I thought that would be a funny question to ask you, because the way your brain works is that you don't know what's going to happen in this adventure, so you reserve judgment. That's just you, and I appreciate that about you, Zach. But I thought I would put you in a squirmy position right here off the bat, just to get it off, just to get it out of the way.
That introduction was churlish and insubordinate.
Yes, indeed. Heath, that's you talking there. Final person joining us. Yeah, Heath Parker with a W in between. How you doing, bud?
I'm so W. Just all I do is win, no matter what.
Typical Heath dub.
Just all dubs. I'm good, man. I'm excited for this adventure and the presumed zaniness and craziness that it will bring into my life.
Yes, indeed. I don't have a particular question for you, so do you have a question for me?
Inspirations. Can I just have one every hour?
If we were playing 2E, possibly.
Can we just take the 2E rule set for inspos and just I'll put you on a timer, and every hour just be like, hey, it's time for my inspo. Feed me, Daddy.
Inspo, please.
I will take it into consideration. I'm gonna make a note of it right here.
That's
Hold
a
on.
far more hopeful answer than I expected.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Interesting notepad you got there.
Yeah. It's one of those AirPads.
He wrote on his
Yeah.
microphone. That was weird.
I do want to start this off with some inspirations, though, because I want to let the listeners know what you're talking about here. So if this is your first STF show, awesome. Thank you for joining us. We have a bunch of other shows. We'll probably talk about them as we play. But we do this thing called Co-Inspirations, where our Patreon subscribers can send in a message that gets issued every time I give an inspiration. And in this game, that's a +2 that can be used on any D20 roll. And I give them out when something makes me laugh, or I think there's some particularly good role playing, or sometimes just on a whim like today. So with that being said, I want to give a few out to start us off. So you have that inspiration going into our first session. Dustin.
Oh, that's me. What's going on?
Yeah, we're starting with you. You ready?
I'm ready. Maybe.
I need you to roll a D10.
All right. Here goes. I'm doing it.
All
First
right.
roll. Wait. I'm not going to tell you that digital roll that I just rolled. This is the first roll of the game. I'm not going to roll a digital
I need a real
one.
die.
So let's just stop.
Speaking of real die,
I like that.
we get all of our dice supplied to us by Norse Foundry, some of the coolest dice makers in the land. Thank you, Eric and Co. That hooks us up. I have a brand new set of dice that I'm using for this show, and I'm really excited about them. Ooh, they're like purple and blue.
Very shiny. Very
Shiny.
beautiful.
they kind of shift color. They look like you
Yeah.
spilled some oil on them or something.
Yeah, yes, they do. They are that exactly.
They're like an oil slick in a Walmart parking lot.
Chromatic or something. What is that called?
D10, Dustin,
Oh,
you
here
got
goes,
it.
here goes. Yeah. On point. Here we go. That's an 8.
An 8. All right, this one's going to be from Grumphouse.
House.
Most of Grumphouse's inspirations are short and sweet, so savor them as they come. Here we go. For you, Dustin. Envision being inspired.
Very
Period. The end.
Effective.
I like that. It leaves it
Go
open.
deep inside your mind palace
Yes.
and then
Just
find a way to be inspired.
Oh, I mean,
manifest it.
y'all want
Manifest
to
it.
hear what I'm envisioning? You know,
Maybe?
I am at the top of a majestic mountain. The very top. The top has been cleared, so it's just a flat plain. I'm sitting on the very center in the lotus pose, meditating, and all of a sudden, the clouds part, and a ray of light descends upon my being, and I am inspired.
This motherfucker ate a Klondike bar, man.
Maybe.
Scrolling down the screen, you see "Welcome to Drift Dome."
Yeah, exactly. Okay, great. Zach, you're up next, buddy.
Okay.
You get a D10.
D10 coming right at you, man. That is a lucky number 7.
Ooh, this is another Grumphouse one.
Bring it up.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Or I guess Grumphouse does.
Okay.
Are you lost?
No.
Well-
I know exactly where I'm at.
Well, I can't help anyway. But here's an inspiration.
Oh, thanks.
All right.
At least you could do, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's there for the taking,
Yeah.
Heath,
Gladly accept.
Yes,
let me get a D10.
I wanted to mention I also have a brand new set of Norse Foundry die that I got from Gen Con that are this cracked amethyst
Ooh, very
that
cool.
are gorgeous. So pretty.
They are good dice.
All right, D10, 6.
6. Man, we're just going right down backwards down the number line, as they say.
He would.
I mean, it was right there for the taking, dude. It was right there for the taking.
You didn't even have to stretch for that one, man.
Yeah, that was right there. That will be the first of infinite amount of fish references in the show. Okay, another Grumpus one. Grumphouse.
Are there any that aren't Groomhouse?
There
It's
are
the one fan we got.
I don't believe you.
All right, fresh new show. Nice. Take this inspiration out for a spin. I'm going to laugh very hard if this gets drawn late in the campaign. Well, Grumphouse will keep you grumpy. Keep your laughs to yourself.
Right out
No
the
humor
jump.
for you.
Yeah. No irony in this inspiration. John, that leaves you, buddy.
All right. What do I need to roll?
A D10.
All right. Okay. I'm also going to roll a die.
Proud of you.
For a 1. I got the 1 out of the way. Thank goodness.
All right, well, that's good. This one's from Bipolar Pop-Tart, otherwise known as
there we go.
BPT, and eventually our Twitch producer. So that's
what up,
another
Bill?
facile pal that's in the making.
Yep.
Also, fun fact about Bippy, not a great pool player. I learned recently.
Yeah.
Damn, just calling the man out right there
It's
in
like-
front of God
it's
and
like,
everybody, dude.
Yeah, man, come hang out with us, come meet us, and then we're going to discover what you're bad at and tell the world.
The thing is, I'm also not a great pool player, so, we're just some birds of a feather.
Fair enough. Hey, that's two. Okay, new show, new characters, same debauchery. And now back to your regularly scheduled program. Yes. Adam being legally required to say the message pee pee poo poo. I really hope this is given during a tense moment.
You heard it, folks, right here.
We're in the
Too
business
bad.
of crushing dreams.
yes.
Here on
That's what
STF.
I hear messing it all up. All right. Enough preamble out of the way. We got a drift crash. Well, I guess it's already crashed.
So, yeah, some other force did that for us.
Yeah.
Thing going on.
Yeah, you guys are now officially drift crashers. And you are...
Sorry.
Sorry.
Man, I didn't crash shit. I just came to work.
We were victims of the crash.
I didn't happen to the crash. The crash happened to me.
Don't put this on my insurance.
I ain't at fault.
You guys find yourself on the bridge of this now mashed up ship we're going to call the Primarana. As the pirate ship and your science vessel have joined into one super ship, you are on a bridge that's like 3 levels high, and you're on the top level. And you can look down from the balcony that you're on and see the levels below. You also see in this room with you Captain Cobalt, and let me show you what this guy looks like.
Okay.
That's the guy with the backwards legs.
Yeah.
Digitigrade. That's the word of the day.
Digitigrade.
Yes.
Does that mean backwards leg?
Yes, it does.
All right.
So that's what you see. You guys want to describe this guy for our listeners as Captain Cobalt?
I feel like he looks like also a space pirate, but of like the Metroid series. Kinda.
What's that alien in Mass Effect?
Maybe describe it in terms that don't reference other IPs in case people haven't played those games.
I mean, Mass Effect's pretty
That's a
cool.
fair point.
But I mean,
That's
I
a fair
want to
point.
say he looks like Garrus from Mass
Yeah,
Effect.
exactly.
Is what I want to say.
Looks like Garrus from Mass
So
Effect.
I'm gonna.
That's. I don't know how else to say it, dude. It's like that's the frame of reference that I have for what this guy looks like.
Yeah, he's got
To
like an
me.
oblongish, smooth, like no hair kind of head with a eye, like I guess he's missing an eye, and instead of an eye patch, has like an augmentation or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Has digitigrade feet, so like the knee kind of bends backwards and the heels don't touch the ground, and has 2 big toes instead of 5 toes.
Yeah, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Another reference.
Yeah,
Very-
it's a little like Garrus plus the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, there you go. A little bit with minus
Wait,
the shell.
that's 2
all right?
IPs
They're
that I
not
just-
teenage. Possibly mutant.
He does
I don't
not
know.
look. He does not look like a teenager. He looks old and grizzled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't think he's a ninja.
and very blue.
Yeah.
Yep. He's holding a single-edged sword in his right hand with a rifle on his back, and he's got a purple armor and a red loincloth looking thing.
Perfect.
Like it.
He's standing he's standing in front of you, as well as Monacita and a couple other pirates. One dressed in what looks like a medical gown or like a coat, like a doctor's coat.
Okay, more doctor than patient.
Yeah, and it's a Suli. And Heath, you want to tell us what a Suli is?
Yeah, so Sulis are one of the species that are descended from, like, genies, right? There's ones that are specific to each plane, the plane of earth, the plane of fire, whatever. The Sulis are the one that are not specific to a certain plane. They can have elements of multiple planes or none.
Gotcha. So in this spacious command center that has replaced the bridges of both ships, instead of a front view screen, the whole front nose of this ship is transparent with a pale green tint to provide a fantastic view of the hellscape outside of the ship. The vessel crashed and slid to the foot of a black obsidian mountain and is now pointed slightly toward an infernal sky of dark and roiling clouds shot through with bolts of fire. Twisted metal fragments lie around the prow of the ship in all directions. Apparently, it hit something in the crash, perhaps a vehicle or building, and it demolished that smaller object. On the upper bridge where you are, accessible by two curving staircases, the pirate Captain Cobalt straightens from his crouch behind the console and says,
Well,
drawing his sword,
it looks like we have ourselves a real dilemma. 2 captains and 1 ship.
and then he looks at you a little better.
Or perhaps 1 captain.
Well, you see, the problem as far as leadership on our ship is we're a group of scientists, so we don't really have military ranks.
Right, well, that makes me captain by default, does it not?
Alright, could we vote on that,
I am not so sure that I am amenable to your captaincy. And Seiyun says this with his hand on the hilt of his sword,
Well, let's start with the diplomacy from Raya.
Okay. A skill that I am not good at. Natural 20.
Nice.
Hey.
On the diplomacy.
All right, we solved
This
that shit.
amethyst die doing me
Next.
right, baby. Thank you so much, Eric and Norse Foundry. Starting the show hot.
Okay. Very interesting. So, with that success, he seems to... that's a flat 20?
Yes, it's just a 20. It's a natural 20 for a 20.
All right.
So he says, all right. Well, it's a difficult situation, as it is. No need for tricky diplomacy. Let's all work on this together, yes.
Yeah, I imagine being that, we're just now starting to have a conversation. Seiyun, kind of intimidating looking over there. Raya explains our situation as scientists, and seeing Seiyun kind of reaching for his weapon, she kind of like flutters her eyes a little bit at him, kind of like not flirting, but like
looks knowingly.
Calm it down. Looks knowingly,
Okay. She's trying to tell him to ease up,
Right.
I got you.
He says,
All right,
yes,
so-
we can put the questions of leadership aside for now. Perhaps we can deal with this at a later time.
And then, you can attempt another diplomacy as you talk to him here. You've moved him to friendly with that natural 20.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys can all aid in diplomacy if you'd like.
Okay.
Noted.
I mean, all you gotta do is roll a 10 or better.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
Yeah, everybody try, because I'm not good at
Yeah,
this
I think
So far, it sounded like nobody actually has a good diplomacy.
I
in
think
this party.
Gilderon is like not really paying attention to like what y'all are doing. He's noticing what has happened, and he's like on the little like trying to get like sensors up and trying to figure out what's happening, and then finally like turns and says the ships are combined. The ships they're not they're combined. We're in a crazy situation here.
As Gilderon speaks up, you guys all look to him and actually see him for the first time since the crash, and all his like gray pale skin has been replaced with a cascade of coloring all over his skin. His bleaching is gone to be replaced. Dustin, tell me what Gilderon looks like now.
So Gilderon, after being transformed during the events that happened in the prologue that you just listened to, his gray skin and gray hair and gray other features have now changed into a multitude of shifting patterns of pink and purples and blues. Even his mustache and eyes are constantly shifting and changing patterns.
And yeah, so you guys all see that this is very strange and new to you. And so we're back to Raya now. And Heath, will you just describe what she looks like a little bit?
Yeah. Raya is Rhyphorian, so think like the shape of an elf, but has very like bronze, sort of yellowish skin, and long chestnut-colored hair up in a ponytail, kind of lean, but obviously like in good shape, wearing a sort of a maybe an overly fancy dress that in the prologue she kind of tied it up on the side of her skirt to have a little more range of movement, but it's like this really pretty like gold and scarlet, like almost blood red kind of dress, but looks a little bit more disheveled than professional after the events that we've kind of just gone through. Big golden eyes, earrings, red lipstick, a very striking, attractive Rhyphorian woman.
All right, so thank you. So Gil just mentioned, he's kind of panicking now. Raya, what do you do?
I suppose I turn a little surprised at the look of Gilderon, and I think like looks at him and like takes a second to like let it sink in, like even like subconsciously, like if everything works out, you've got a future at music festivals, if nothing else, but says, Gil, calm down. We're all in a strange situation together, but we need to get to work. And turns her head to Cobalt, the pirate captain, and says, and the last thing we need to do right now is be fighting each other for control or power that likely won't matter in the short term.
Roll another diplomacy. You guys can all aid here if you'd like.
Sure.
Wait till I find out.
Just a straight up D20 to aid.
Gotta beat a 10.
All right.
6.
7.
8.
Oh no.
No charisma characters.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, no aids there.
Oh
Yeah.
god, this is gonna go the complete opposite way of last time. Okay, no aids, no bonus from me, but it is a 16 on the die. So just a 16 total.
He laughs and kind of claps you on the back, Raya. He says,
You seem a decent sort. I suppose if anyone could get me and my crew out of this hellhole, it'd be you. It seems that we underestimated the scientist aboard this ship.
Well, I think the use of your term hellhole is actually quite literal if we look around.
yeah, to that, if you guys want to roll just like a mysticism check, it's pretty easy here to probably determine that, but if you want to be sure, you can roll a mysticism check.
I will do that.
All right.
What do you mean, Raya?
13.
That's all you need. It's pretty obvious, really, here.
15.
17.
Yeah, so, yeah, you all are like, yeah, this is hell. Looking out the window, looks pretty hellish. And so, indeed, you have crash landed on the plane of hell.
We're not in Verces anymore.
Right. So now you guys have to decide what your game plan is. The power is off on the ship. It's totally dark on the ship.
So, Seiyun will his lower arms, he will fold them in front of him, you know? Mm-hmm. His upper arms, he'll put one kind of on his hip, and another he'll like scratch his chin underneath his mask, and he's thinking about all of the flashes that they experienced, all the sort of planar jumps that they had on the way here. And he's halfway speaking out loud to the group and halfway kind of thinking to himself, but he just says, if I hadn't seen what I had seen with my own eyes, experienced what I felt in my own body, I could scarce believe what we just experienced. However, we now find ourselves merged with another ship on the plane of hell. Is everyone else tracking that?
We're doomed!
Yes, I think you put it right. Everything's just gone all cattywampus here.
I think you'd be right, sir.
Looks like okay. First things first. We don't have any ship's power. I don't even know how we're gonna get power at this point, but we need to have a game plan. We need to get the ship working and get the hell out of hell.
Hell.
Right. I think first priority is to get the power on, but we also need to check on our people, and hopefully they didn't all get. And she's imagining like the walls of the ships fusing and like smashing people between them. You know,
right.
It's like hopefully they're all right.
If I may offer, we could create a bit of a triage situation here at the bridge. I've got my trusty surgeon here. She can aid in bringing anybody back to good health. Navra, are you down?
And she just kind of nods her head.
And if that sounds amenable to you, that can be our role in this.
That is reassuring, at least.
I'm just imagining. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, you got it, man.
I got the giggles now. I'm just imagining like the doctor turns and lifts up a hand and there's a hook at the end of it. You know? Like, the pirate thing is just like
pirate surgeon.
Yeah.
Set it up.
No, Sayun, to the pirate captain's point, he's like, I think it's best that we search for survivors immediately. There may be injured or worse aboard, and we could use the extra sets of hands and perhaps skill sets.
I ask if ye meet up with any of me pirates. You've already shown that you can best us all.
And he kind of cuts a glance at Montecita, and she's kind of embarrassedly drops her head.
I ask that you leave them unharmed. We are just but a fledgling group of pirates. Obviously underestimated the strength of the crew of the Marana.
You punched above your weight. And look at the trouble you have caused.
Perhaps this is Besmara's bounty after all.
Perhaps.
Bunch of crazies.
Are you aware of how you look right now, Gilderon?
What do you mean?
Raya pulls a little mirror out of her handbag, a little like flip mirror, and says, "Just look."
Yeah.
And puts it up so you can see your face.
It's nothing. What are you talking about? What? But it's moving. And he like pulls out he's got this long mustache that extends outside the borders of his face, and he's like looking at the hair, and it's like shifting patterns, and he's like, yeah, no. He's looking at his like arms and pulling up his sleeves to see shifting pinks and purples and blues, and he's got like this mop of hair on his head that's almost like a like a troll doll, basically. It just is like unkempt and just goes straight up, and he like pulls some of it down, and he can see the shifting patterns, and he's like, no.
Guilty.
We gotta figure this out. Oh, yeah.
Relax. Everything's all right.
I think I may have contracted something.
I think you're all right, but it really does look like the paint needs to stay on the canvas next time, Shug.
To Gil's point, I think we may all have contracted something. But now is not the time. We need to find survivors.
Yes.
Yeah, and I do want to, as a GM or the arbiter of this world, impart the time pressure that you may have of crash landing on hell and all that may
you don't
come
say.
as a result of that. Yeah, so
Yeah, many of you may not be aware of the nature of the plane of hell, but we should get out of here before demons come and attack our ship. That's a thing that could happen here.
That's a fine
Never
idea.
heard about hell before this.
All right, we have wasted enough time. Captain, as loath as I am to say, the bridge is yours.
I'll treat her well.
Okay, everybody turn on your comm units.
Okay.
May the luck of Bismara be upon you.
I do not want any of Besmara's luck, but
Well, you don't have to
Thank
be rude about it, but okay.
It's because of you that we're in this mess.
May Iomade smite your bitch.
he's a little upset about the situation right now.
of course, that's fair. All right, so Sayan, looks like you're going to take charge of this little expedition.
Yeah, I have no choice. I don't really know if we need to go out the doors of the bridge or go down the stairs in the bridge.
I mean, you could start with the deck that you're on and work your way down, or you could work down and work your way up. Either one it's up to you. The layout of the ship is unfamiliar to both sides, both the pirates and the
Nebulous at
Suns.
best.
Right,
Yes.
right. Let's explore it. See where it takes us.
Yeah, so yeah, you guys can.
we are in a time crunch.
Right.
Sure.
So you step out into like a main thoroughfare hall here, and you see that there's an elevator that goes up and down between the various decks, but obviously it's not working right now because of the power being out.
Right.
You see a hallway that goes to the east, and there's doors on each side of the hallway, and the hallway ends in a door to the east. And that's what you see on this floor.
Okay, Sayun will quickly check the doors on either side of the hall.
All right, so on the south side, as you open the door, you see what looks to be a medical bay. And there's like 3 beds, a surgery theater, and enough diagnostic equipment and computer stations for a small staff to work together without getting in each other's way. There are a couple cabinets in there. You can check those now or come back to them later, but you certainly make note of some cabinets that are there that may contain some supplies that a medical bay might need. On the north side, you see a tech workshop. It's fully equipped with all the tools necessary to craft technological items. And you see a couple bins in there that looks like each bin has 1,000 UPBs for usage to create things or craft things.
Okay. Okay, nice. But no survivors.
No survivors.
So is it supposed to
in either
be
of
pitch
those-
black?
Yeah, it's totally dark.
I guess I only have low light vision. I can't see it.
Yeah, you only have low light vision. But you can turn on your...
Comm units.
Yeah, we should have flashlights on our comm units
Right.
built in.
Yeah. Your armor is going to be a bright light 5 feet, dim light 5 more.
Well, I'm going to use my gnomish abilities and cast dancing lights instead.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
So what does that give you as far
4
as
lights
light?
resemble small headlights or flashlights. Must stay within 10-foot radius in relation to each other. I can move them up, down, everywhere, which ways. Lights can move up to 100 feet per round. So I'm just going to have them centered kind of around me. with the light going outward, so kind of like, checking the perimeter.
Okay.
So you essentially put a bigger square of light.
Exactly, like 2 in front, 2 in back. And it moves as I move.
What color will your light?
I feel like initially I want it just to be normal sunlight, a full spectrum light. But maybe, the magic that I just went through is changing it a little bit, and even that color is shifting just a tiny bit,
Love it. All right.
Okay.
And then there's one final door here at the end of the hall.
Yeah.
Right?
Sayun, I guess, is in the front of the party. So he's going to open the door on the east. Oh, shit.
Yeah, so when you open that door, you open it into this engine room. And at the center of the engine room stands 2 huge pieces of machinery stacked atop each other. This is like speaking directly to your heart, Gil.
Yeah.
On the bottom, 2 power cores of different makes and models have somehow been smashed together to create a single unit. Gray, white, and red lights flicker all over it, even as the intermittent sparks fly amid exposed wiring. Atop the dual power core, the Marana's drift engine has transformed into a set of 3 rings that constantly whirl and spin, yet remain connected to each other. Within the rings hangs a chaotic mass of glowing green and purple energy reminiscent of the drift itself. Also, on the walls, you see transparent leech-like creatures, each about 3 foot long, covering the walls.
In
Covering the wall?
In Tesla's
Life
name.
science check on them?
Yeah. You could do a life science on those things, and then you can do a couple other checks on all the other stuff. So, one moment, before you guys do anything, let me show you what this core looks like.
Okay.
So they'll be in our Discord chat. Put it there.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah, that looks cool as hell.
So I misspoke. So that's not the power core. The power core is mashed up of the 2 ships, but this has replaced where your drift engine was.
It's the drift engine.
So this is something different than a drift engine. So if you want to roll on the creatures, you certainly can.
Okay.
That will be a life science.
All right. I'll try that.
I'm going to try to.
15?
Okay.
18.
What about the rest of you? All right. 18's good enough to get it.
And I can't roll life science.
So these are what's called rift remoras, and I'll put a picture of those too. They're kind of ugly, but they're really sweet. These can be taken in as a creature companion if any of you so choose.
Ooh.
I think I'm good. That's a gaping maw.
It takes
just
a
wanna
little
give you a
time
little
to
kissy.
bond with them, so maybe now is not the time, but you know that they're here, and you know that they are able to be bonded with. Rift remoras are leech-like outsiders that glide through planes with supernatural intuition. These astral parasites are naturally attracted to interdimensional rifts. They gain sustenance from these misalignments of various planes of existence by absorbing the metaphysical potential energy through their long, drooping antennae. Their pale, near-transparent skin and circular gaping maw of razor-sharp teeth gives them the appearance of deep-sea aquatic life. Though they don't need to use it to feed, their ability to smell and home in on creatures not native to the plane they're on makes them prized trackers by bounty hunters who specialize in pursuing targets across the plains.
In the Discord recently, I've noticed I inspired a little bit of chat about the Animorphs series that I was a huge fan of as a kid. And these remind me of the Yerks, the bad guys that were like brain slugs.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, so now there is the matter of the power core.
Yes.
Okay. As you look at it right now,
The engine, right? Not the power core.
well, the power core will turn on the power, which will then allow you to try to boost up the engine. But
Right.
So the power core and the engine are both in this room.
Oh, okay.
So you have the mashed up power cores, and then you have this weird other engine that replaced the drift engine.
And I think Gil comes up and actually...
Because you just have like thrusters for your non-FTL travel that are on the outside of the ship that would be controlled with your piloting console. But this whatever this swirling drift-like thing is, replace your drift engine. The power core, though, is like emitting a lot of electricity. It's like so, like you'd have to deal with that before approaching it.
Oh, gotcha.
Sayan will comment on the remoras, though.
Okay.
To the party, he'll say, the presence of these remoras lends credence to the realization that we have hopped many planes. That could explain the melding of our ships and this new engine that we find before us.
Well, hopping planes is tricky business at best, but this thing, talking about the drive or the engine or whatever, it's like, this is something new.
Yes. I mean, you're telling me. I mean, this is a statistical impossibility. It's like the combination of the chaos sails and us careening through the drift and our drift engine created something impossible.
Would you guys like to roll like a check?
Yes,
on that,
let's
maybe?
do it.
Yeah, what kind
Absolutely.
of check?
It's going to be either physical science or mysticism.
Can do
But-
mysticism.
Okay,
mysticism as
hold on. Before you roll, you will have to spend a full minute studying it.
I will definitely do that.
Okay.
Yeah, if one of us is going to do it, then we might as well all do it.
Yeah.
Instead of
if you-
splitting the party,
Sure.
you know?
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of fucks with the whole idea that we need to be
The urgency,
quickly
right?
searching for survivors.
I'm in it in 60 seconds, you know what I mean? Like, you also are assessing
True.
your ship,
Right.
you know?
This is important. It's not like we're just, pissing off on some random stuff.
And you can't leave without knowing what this is anyway, so...
Yeah.
Oh!
Nice.
So I got a 19.
Okay. Looks like Raya got
23.
you beat there. Mm-hmm. 23. So everybody...
Gilderon with a 17, by the
Yes,
way.
17.
So everybody rolled high enough that you... What you conclude from this is, you've never seen anything like this. But you just kind of studying it, you can at least determine that it can be used to travel through the multiverse. But right now, you have no idea how to operate it. That's something that you're going to have to figure out. But in currently, you just know that it is a thing that can travel through the multiverse. So it may be a way out of this plane.
Oh man, are we in a Marvel movie? I don't want to be in a Marvel movie.
I will tell you that there's also, well, sorry about it.
Stuff goes bad in those.
You also will see like a fireman's pole here in the bottom left corner of this room that you can travel down between floors using it.
The pole dancing classes that I took on the Adari paid off after all.
So we can
I
actually...
took those as well.
Did that mysticism
No, it
check
didn't say it.
make it where we can move past this? Like you said, there was like electric arcs, and we couldn't.
Yeah, like if you want to try to get the power back on, you're going to have to deal with the electricity.
Okay.
Which would be like an engineering check type situation.
All right. Oh, Gilderon is transfixed by this wonderful happenstance of a machine, and noticing like the colors that it's giving off, kind of matches, the hues and the colors, and even kind of like the frequency of the color change. But that's neither here nor there because we have to stay in the moment and figure out this. So he has that quick thought, and then he's gonna roll an engineering check.
This is like the Jefferson waffle drive.
Does anyone want to help
Jefferson
me?
Waffle is Humphreys McGee's lighting engineer.
Former lighting engineer.
Former lighting. Oh, he retired. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, what'd you get?
Yeah.
Oh, can someone aid?
I cannot. I don't
engineering?
have a trained. I don't
Yeah.
have a trained or a class skill.
I'm trained, but I got a +0. I can try to aid.
Okay.
No, you can't because you got to put a rank in it.
Oh, gotcha.
before you can use it.
It's okay. I see the check here. I have 0 ranks.
Engineering is what you're here for, Gilderon Lucklepop.
It's Whistle Pop.
Pop and
Whistle
lock.
pop.
You should know this.
Popping and locking.
All right, I guess it's down to old Gilderon. Let's see.
No
let's
pressure,
figure, let's
but if
figure
you
this
don't
out.
succeed at this, we could die.
Okay, I've got this. That's a 18.
That is a success. And so you walk up there all shaky, and you see a couple wires that are just like unplugged and like creating this arc. And so you literally just pull those out.
Yeah. So I'm like all
And-
scared, and I'm just like, and then I see that, I'm like, oh, just a couple of wires.
All right. So
This ain't shit.
Sweet shit.
it's going to take more time than you have at the moment to actually repair the core, but you at least are able to, when it comes time to do that, you'll be able to do it without the threat of being electrocuted.
Okay.
Given that you're looking for survivors right now.
Right, that's the thing. Is we gotta
so
find survivors.
So we know we've got to come back to this. We've got part of it fixed, but it's going to take significant time to do the rest.
All
Let's
right.
get moving.
So the elevator is out of order because the power is off.
Right.
Correct.
We'd have to go into the bridge and up the stairs, or can we actually
You got the
climb?
fire pole.
Okay. Well, the fire pole doesn't go up, nor do the stairs in the bridge. The only way up is through a service ladder that's in the elevator shaft, which you can certainly climb and do.
Okay, let's do that.
All right, so you guys move your way back to the other end of the hall.
Okay, I was about to ask what that door was, but that's the elevator.
After
That's
you.
the elevator.
Something friend.
So Sayun takes his forearms, or Sayun takes his forearms, and it just like opens the elevator door with just brute strength. And you see that the elevator is down on the bottom floor. Okay, and so you can climb up to there looks like one floor above you, and then maybe about 2 floors that go down.
So I mean, it's a ladder. We don't need to do any kind of climbing check.
No, you can just go up.
Okay,
yeah.
we go. I go up the stairs.
Okay. All right, so you climb up and you see this really incredible sight. It's like an observation lounge, so the whole top ceiling is see-through glass. And in here, it looks like stolen fragments from all the planes that you crashed through. So there's like flowering gardens from Elysium, a patch of meadow from Nirvana, a flute playing reeds from heaven fill this lounge. There's like mushrooms from the first world, all this kind of just random stuff that you guys passed through. And you also see one of your crew members in here. All right, you see Angela Dresden, and you know that she's kind of like your media handler that Ziva hired for you guys to kind of help you navigate through all the red tape and hubbub that surrounds the anomaly beacon. And so she was here with you, and you find her sprawled out and unconscious.
Oh, she's knocked out? Okay.
Yeah, she's knocked out.
I mean, we have medicine and stuff?
I mean, I think some of you are trained in medicine at least.
Not I.
Let me see here. Yes, I am trained in medicine.
Okay.
All right.
So you can just like walk over to her.
Yep.
Let me get a medicine check.
All right. That's gonna be 18.
Very good. So you just like kind of reach into your medical kit and just bust out some, smelling salts.
Mm-hmm.
You break them up under her nose, and she's like, "Oh God, what's happened? I feel like I've just traveled all of time and space. I'm so exhausted. What has happened?"
That's more correct than you might initially think. We're in an odd situation, but thank goodness you're all right. But we're trying to get everyone, take stock of all the crew and get everyone together.
All right. My head hurts so bad. I just I'm so confused.
Let me see your pinky.
Okay. She holds
Breaks
out
her pinky.
My head doesn't hurt anymore. Thank you. Okay. No. She's like, all right. So what's happening? What's the plan?
Should we have every crew member we find meet up at a certain location, go to the bridge or the medical bay?
To the bridge. That's where they're setting up triage. Her head hurts.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
cool.
take her there.
Yep.
Or just send her there?
Yep.
Okay.
But we're going the same way, right? This is a dead end.
Right.
You know?
There's nothing else up here but this beautiful display of things from all the planes. And so, you wake up Angela Dresden and kind of get her down the ladder.
Yeah.
And then direct her to the bridge to where
before we get there, Raz, like, oh, and also I must warn you, the pirates that attacked us, that they're in the bridge, but now they're helping us. So don't act a fool.
I guess disasters make strange bedfellows, don't they?
I feel like you almost said table fellows.
Thinking about it, that didn't seem like it was the phrase. It seemed weird. But it came to my mind, nonetheless. Yes.
Strange times.
Yes. So you can go down. Yeah, you can go down either through the elevator shaft or down the staircase, whichever.
It doesn't matter.
Take the elevator shaft. I'll take the elevator shaft.
All right, so everybody's just going to go down the elevator shaft.
Yep.
Boom, boom, boom. And you're now on the deck 3. And there's like a hallway here with some stairs to the south that looks like they go down. All right. And then across the hall, there's a large hole in the floor that's protected by some guardrails that looks down into the floor
cargo
below.
bay?
No, it's not the cargo bay. It's just like down to the floor below.
Okay.
Which looks like another hallway. And then, there's a series of doors on the north and south side of this hall. The size of the spacing of the doors suggests that these are crew quarters. And if you open the doors, you can certainly tell that they are. These are like regular, like kind of plain crew quarters, nothing fancy. But
like just their bunks.
Yeah, they're bunks, right? But there is another large door at the end of this hall as well.
Okay.
Right?
Soon we'll go ahead and open that one.
After you're like a Kasathan friend.
Not find any more
You
weird
are the main line.
fucking-
You are the frontliner. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
I
Raya's
understand
staying
that.
with you, like,
Yeah.
Right.
So you're
We're
not
staying
alone,
in group,
Yeah.
Okay, so Sayun steps into
All right,
this.
so you step in here.
Does Sayun have the shield?
Yeah, he has a shield.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so when you step in here, you see some interesting things. First of all, I say interesting. It's just empty bay that you can expand into. Okay. So this is an expansion bay that has yet to be filled. However, you don't have time to think about that because what you do see in front of you is something very strange. Looks like a nerve cluster almost with a green center and purple nerve endings reaching out, crackling in all directions. Yeah, and
it's like candy in the shadow plane.
yeah, so it's just like hovering there, crackle, and so you step in and you see this thing.
Yeah, and I think that it kind of calls to Sayun.
Okay.
Without saying anything to anybody, he just kind of wordlessly, he just like moves towards this crackling entity.
Sayun, what are you doing?
And without even realizing it, he sort of reaches out his upper left hand, which is cybernetic.
Don't touch
up
it.
to the wrist, by the way. And he reaches out to touch. He's not even hearing Gilderon
Sayun!
talking to him at the moment, but he reaches out to touch
Let
the
him
thing.
cook.
As you reach out to touch it, some black, like energy or smoke starts forming around your bicep and down into your forearm, into your hand, and you just feel the energy of the void at your fingertips, and it seems to be drawn towards whatever this thing is that you're reaching out to, and it comes towards you, and you can feel it trying to pull some of that entropic energy right off of your hand, like, and it's like freaks you out because like that's yours, that's your void energy, and this is all happening. Like, this is a new experience to you, and this is all you're getting these feelings that you've never had before, despite all your experience with the void. But you now are like able to manipulate the entropy of the void, and as soon as you realize that, this thing is trying to take it from you, and I need you to roll a will save.
Oh no. Okay, sure. I have nothing in my wills. I think I'll use my inspiration on this.
I mean, dude, yeah.
I think I'll use my inspiration. Yeah, it's a flat D20 roll. So, that's an 18 total.
All right. Using the power of your will and the power of Grump.
Yes.
I thought you were gonna say Grayskull. So
you pull your hand back, almost with a I don't want to like say you're being childish, but in that like, no, this is mine.
Okay.
Kind of feeling, because you know
reflective.
that it was and you know that that this thing was trying to steal your momentum.
Okay.
And I need everybody to roll initiative.
Ooh.
Okay.
Every time you say roll initiative, in my mind, I go bum 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 bum. I don't know why. I'm
Okay.
programmed.
Well, roll your initiative.
I'll do it. That's neither here nor there. There you go.
So that was a natural one for Gilderon, and we have some sound effects in our Foundry. We're using Foundry
like
to play.
a screeching car.
Yeah. Okay. So, Satan, you do get the jump here on this combat, fittingly, I think. What do you want to do? Remember, knowledge checks are free.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do that then.
Okay. This will be a mysticism check.
Okay. Sure. That's a 19.
A 19 is enough to give you some information on this thing.
Yeah.
All right. This is a time eater. Okay, and time eaters are native to the drift, and they are, there's a lot. I'm trying to decide what to tell
Time
you.
are friends, not food.
This is like some residue of the creation of the drift. All right, and so you know that it's native to the drift, and that it doesn't really have any motivations, right? Like you know that these things are as scared of you as you are of them, kind of situation, right? And it just wants to steal your momentum. So as long as it doesn't feel threatened, it's going to try to steal your momentum. But you feel like if you yell at it like you would a bear, you might be able to chase it off.
Okay. So, all right. So Satan initially was going to reach for his sword and draw it, but then stops, says wait, and then turns back to this. He said time stealer.
Time eater.
Time eater. Okay.
Yes.
It's here to waste our time.
He tells the party, I think we can shoo it away from us. And he again turns back to the time eater and just says, be gone. Get out of here. You are not wanted.
Okay, roll an intimidation check.
Okay. I have no ranks in Intimidate, actually. You keep describing Satan as intimidating, and I have 0 rank. I have not a charisma character, by the way.
Well, do it anyway.
Okay.
You would be so kind. Please get.
A natural 3 for a 2.
Okay.
The old dirty 2 from above.
It doesn't seem to be too afraid of your get out of here, shoo. Doesn't seem to really land. I
just don't believe it, you know?
So
You're not selling it, you know?
You still
Let's
have
go from the top.
You still have a move action here.
Okay. Seun will adopt a defensive posture to try to prevent it from attacking him. I think I can align my shield toward the enemy.
I love it. So yeah, you raise the shield of Besmar up. You're gonna have to give it a paint job, I think. But for now,
think so.
Yeah. But for now, you see the what is it? Is it a skull? Is that Besmara's?
I think she's just a skull and crossbones, classic pirate iconography. But I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but anyways, the symbol.
It's a more futuristic looking, not font, but like design style. But it is like a skull and some crossbones behind it.
All right. So you raise your shield, Sibana. You're up.
Yeah. So I guess I can. Let's see.
And you know what's intimidating is a bullet or a blade.
Okay. All right.
I'm just throwing that out there.
All right. Okay. All right. I was reading it wrong then. All right. If that's the case, then yeah. Let's try just a bullet. So seeing this strange, potentially deadly creature, then our resident frontliner haphazardly reaching out to it and intimidating it as much as a baby squawks. Let's
nice.
See what happens.
The way you phrase that,
Yeah, that's good.
Made me feel real good about it, John.
All right, so it's like sometimes you just need to introduce a little bit of ballistic persuasion with an azimuth, energy persuasion, with a azimuth laser rifle. So she's going to go ahead and take aim at it for an 11 against EAC.
That is going to miss.
Of course it would.
All right, Raya, you're up.
Skitter shit.
Oh, skitter shit.
I mean, yeah. So at this point, we don't have. I also don't have intimidate. So it's just we're trying to shoot it, really more to scare it than kill it.
Right.
Okay. I will do that. I've got a gun. All right. A 3 total. Goodness.
Yeah, so that's definitely gonna be low level sucks, my man.
Yeah.
I will say that you guys are currently blocking the door.
I've still got to move.
Right.
I shot once. I'm gonna step down. And she like turns to say and is like, we're just trying to get it out of here, right?
Right.
Right. And she will take a step to the south to kind of open up some of the doorway.
All right. Well, it is now the time eater's turn, and the time eater will move up to Seun, and we're going to try to do a little tentacle hit on Seun.
Okay.
That is a 20 against KC.
That's going to hit even with the shield.
All right. That will be 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ouch.
And then I need you to roll against that steel momentum again. Another will save.
Oh, man. 13.
Meets beats.
Still taking all that damage, though,
Yeah,
bro.
it's a chunky piece of damage there.
It's coming out of stamina? Yeah. 4.
Okay, no.
Only got 10 stamina.
And you see when it does land the attack, even though it didn't manage to steal the momentum, you see that it's like the energy of it seems to pulse a little faster. And that'll be its turn. Gilderon, you're up.
So all we got to do is scare it?
Yes.
So
Get to work. You're very intimidating.
here goes nothing. And then he takes a deep breath, and then he casts a ghost sound. So it says that the volume of sound created can produce as much as noise as 20 normal humans. And you can create shouting, singing, talking, marching, running. So I'm just going to 20 humans
just
shouting
20
at it, you know?
Get on out of here!
Get on out!
I love it. I want you to roll an intimidation. We'll say with a because that's a cantrip to do, right?
It's a cantrip.
All right. Is there like a disbelieve will?
There is.
Will say?
It is a
All right.
13 will disbelieve.
All right. I'm gonna roll with my Norse Founder die here. Okay, that's a 10, which is a fail.
Nice.
Which means that you have scared it now. You can see that energy kind of, while still pulsing at a fast rate, kind of now pulls back into its nucleus, to its core. And at the top of the round, it's Sayan's turn. Anything you want to do here, or?
I mean, does the thing look scared, right?
Yeah, there's definitely a change in its energy patterns with that ghost sound.
Okay, Sayun is going to take a 5-foot guarded step, which doesn't really get him out of threatened range or anything, but clears the path for the time meter, and then again will align his shield to try to prevent it from getting a direct hit on him.
All right.
Oh yeah, I didn't move. Yeah, I meant to move.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I got you, buddy.
Cool.
Sorry about that. All right, Sabana, you're up.
Alrighty. I really don't want to end up attacking this thing, so I think I'm going to go ahead and delay my turn until after it moves to see kind of what it does. So yeah.
All right, Raya, same deal, or
yeah, I'm gonna wait till after it.
All right, so it goes and it just zips right past you guys, zip, 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 and it zips over the balcony and moves its way down into the deck below, seeming to find an escape out of this ship. You know, the threat of it is past. If you want to follow it, you can, but it's now down a level.
Okay. Are we still in turn order?
We don't have to be.
I would. Is down where our people are?
The bridge is at the nose, and no. So
no. Okay.
So you're still looking for people. I will say, you know, the combat's over. That thing's gone away at the very least. The doors, at all this commotion, one of the doors of these quarters open, and you can see that these are the utility quarters, right? And coming out of one of those is another Kasatha, who you guys recognize as your ship's doctor.
Oh.
And he comes out and he says, "What is going on here? I heard all the commotion. I hid here because of the pirates that were attacking. But I heard your voices shouting. What is happening?"
In the understatement of the year, things have changed. The pirates are helping us, at least for now. We have a truce or alliance. But we're trying to find all of the crew and make sure everyone's okay.
Please make your way to the bridge and assist in triage as needed.
Roger that. I will do so, and I will offer my services to any that need it.
Also, prepare yourself for the view.
Okay.
Talk about understatements.
Yes.
Yeah. And so
we're in hell.
He's about to
listen, bro. We're in fucking hell right now. Okay.
He's about to take your direction, and then he walks a couple steps, and then he stops and he turns around and he says, "All right, I must admit, I do not know where the bridge is on this ship."
That's fair, actually.
You need to take the ladder
Yeah, we can
down.
tell them where the stairs are.
Yeah. Well, you guys can tell him where it is. I was just kind of reiterating that this is all so foreign and mashed up, you know?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's everything on this floor. So
okay.
There are stairs that descend down right
yeah, I
over
guess we gotta take those, don't we?
Yeah. So
Are we still the doors around us? Those are the crew quarters still?
Yeah.
Are those presumably our crew quarters?
I mean, they're crew quarters. Like, it's all mished
can't
up,
really
so
say
it doesn't
our
look.
crew quarters anymore. Everything's
You
new.
don't see any of your belongings in those crew quarters. I'll tell you that.
Okay, all right. That's what I was wondering about.
Yeah. All right. So I will take you guys down.
Yeah, as we're descending the stairs, Sayun turns to the rest of them and says, "I will do my best not to touch any more strange entities."
I would appreciate that.
Well, if they're more dangerous than that one, we might need you to touch them quite a bit.
Point taken. And, okay, we're down at the bottom now. So, what do we have here?
When you get down to the bottom, you see another hallway here, and the doorway you see a doorway over here to the west. That looks like it goes to where the bridge would be, but it's open, and you can kind of see that it goes into like a lounge type area.
Okay.
Okay, so, I mean, that's the obvious place that we're being led to, right?
Well, I'm just telling you because the door's already open there.
Okay.
Saying when you step in there, you do see a couple people. You see quite a few people, actually. You see a couple pirates. The pirate that you intimidated in the prologue, the technician. The one that Raya knocked out.
Okay.
He's still knocked out in the corner. And then you see two of your crewmates is there as well. The two that you see are Lenny Ardoin. He's a Verthani. And he's like the ship's like crafter. He's kind of a technician that like makes stuff for you guys as you might need it. And he sees you and he goes, Sayun, I'm glad to see that you're standing on 2 feet. What the hell's happened there? Well, maybe I shouldn't have used that word, but what happened? And next to him is Jamila.
Oh, thank God.
Yes, it's okay. I'm all right. How are you? Is everybody okay?
To make what could be a very long story short, we appear to have traveled across space, time, and multiple dimensions, and now find ourselves in the plane of hell. If you would make your way to the bridge, 2 levels up, I believe, there you will find the rest of both of our crews.
So what should we do with this guy over here?
The technician?
Yeah, the pirate.
Sayun looks at him and is like, you. I would apologize for the bump on your head, but you did...
Oh, he's still unconscious.
Oh, he's still unconscious.
Yeah,
I thought he was like up and going.
No.
Like,
Could you carry him with you to the bridge? The other pirates are there. They're I know that's odd, but they're helping us with this odd situation.
Look, this whole thing is weird. Whatever you say, we'll do it. Come on, Jamila, help me get this guy up. And Jamila's like, oh, all right, yes, we will do this. Please be careful. That was quite a crash that we had. You might want to check and see if there's any damage done to the exterior of the hull. But that's all. I mean, I'm just your sage. What do I know? And you know that she kind of like has a habit of like being sarcastic and making jokes when she's nervous.
Right.
Kind of self-deprecating humor a little bit.
Yeah, and Jamila is a Lushinta, by the way. Okay.
Yeah, and before they go and turn off to head to the bridge, Raya just like quickly like runs up to Jamila and just like grabs her in a hug and like kisses her on the forehead. You know, just like I'm glad you're all right.
Yep. Okay. Thanks. Right. I'm fine. Yes. Okay. Let's go. Let's take this luck up and see what's happening up there. All right. Don't get burned. All right.
Good one.
Yeah. No. All right. So that's what's in there.
okay.
If you make your way back out, the first door that you see to the north opens up into the
Lavatory.
bathrooms. Yep.
Yeah. The head.
Yep. And then these rooms down here are the nicer quarters. And you guys do find one room each that has your belongings in them.
Okay.
Man.
Great.
They mashed up this ship nice and good.
Well, that's convenient.
Yes.
So seeing that and finding the room that has her belongings, Raya's like, can we take just a moment? I need to grab something. And just like doesn't really wait for an answer, just like runs off in the room and goes up to, I presume there's some kind of closet, right?
Sure, yeah.
She goes up to the closet. This is a sci-fi game, so like hits a beep boop boop, and the closet door is like open.
You don't have the power on, so you gotta force it.
Magic does it. It's whatever.
Nope, you gotta force it over with your fist.
Okay, well she does that. She's a strength character. It's fine. Just and pulls them open, and inside the closet is a pristine set of Skyfire Legionnaire armor on like a stand, right?
Hell yeah.
And so she like comes back and like closes the door. She said, just a minute, and goes and takes off her dress and hangs it up on a hanger, and then puts on this Skyfire Legion armor that's like mostly red with like some orange and yellow and gray trim, and a helmet that has like the nasal cover of it is like the head of a dragon, right?
Right.
And comes back out like fully kitted out in this like, it looks brand new armor, like no wear and tear at all on it.
Okay, you didn't come here to play.
So when she comes out, Seiyun just says, "Oh, good. You've dressed for battle."
Yeah, I didn't think I'd ever have to use this, but here we are.
You know, it looks good on you.
Oh, yeah, I agree. But we got better things to do. Come on.
Yeah.
He's like a little anxious. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Looking at his drift watch.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that actually kind of works, because I was going to say, the compliment you give her, like, she looks kind of nervous and apprehensive, as though wearing the armor is, like, not something she's super comfortable with. And then when Gil is like, all right, we got better stuff to do or whatever, she's, like, even more, like, kind of inner shell. Like, she just looks uncomfortable wearing the armor.
Right.
But it does look good.
Well, we don't really have time to, get into the depths of
Why she has that armor?
But
it looks dope.
Yeah.
We
I wasn't trying to slow us down anymore.
Yeah.
She looks nervous and uncomfortable. Let's go.
Can't delve deep in the fashion finder.
There's one more door leading to the sort of the back bay, I guess. I assume the bottom deck of this.
Correct.
Shit.
So, you guys need to get in position of where you want to be.
I will be behind Seiyun.
I will be next to Seiyun.
I will be behind Raya.
All right, you guys should be able to open the door now. All right.
Okay.
Hold on before you even move.
Oh.
As
You've
you
activated my trap card.
You have. All right. So when you open the door, you see a large cargo bay, and you see an airlock on one side of it, and you see that the cargo door is up, but it's like bent and jammed and stuck open.
Oh.
So you guys immediately activate your environmental protection suits. But what you also see is that there's a tripod mounted railgun that has, instead of facing out to the outside, which you're now exposed to, it's facing towards this hall, which means that it must have been moved around in the crash, and it starts to fire upon you. I need everybody to roll initiative.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, it was fun knowing y'all. Just get mowed down.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, great.
Right.
9.
There's a 12.
15.
Oh, wait, did I roll a 1 again? Okay,
Yeah,
I
you
have
did.
the red dice. Okay.
Okay. I'm trying to figure.
I got
Go
a
ahead.
19.
You got a 19.
Yep. Like, Gil, maybe battle's just not your
This is my first.
So yeah, right. So Raya got a 19, Subana with a 15, Seiyun with a 9, and Gilderon with that natural 1, putting him at a 4. Raya, you have the jump on this thing before it fires, so you can attempt to try to disable it if you want.
Would that be engineering?
It would be engineering.
Because I can't do that. Is there any way I can break it? Can I kick this gun's ass?
Punch.
No, I mean, no.
No?
Just-
Okay.
No.
I mean, I don't have engineering.
Yeah.
I mean, can we damage it? Like, can we just try to, like, shoot it? Or it's literally like, let's just wait our turns until somebody
Well,
can do
you
engineering?
could use your turn to get out of the way, I guess. So you don't get hit with it.
I will flee like a coward as soon
Duck
as I
into
put
a
my
ring.
armor on.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's...
Oh, gun! So we know, like, Gil is the only engineer, right?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Gil, you're gonna need to brave turret fire and go disable this gun to save us all.
Can I
You're a
ride
small
on one of y'all's
target.
backs?
If you were a skittermander, then maybe.
Okay, Gil, you can do this. You're 250 years old.
yeah,
you
I
can
mean-
do this.
All right, so what are you going to do, Ryan?
I mean, you've presented me literally one option, so I will take that one option and move
Okay.
into this sort of bedroom right here.
All right, Sibana?
Tell me real quick, does this look like it's fixed in its position? In other words, like, I understand that you said that it was jostled around from the crash, right? But does it look like it turns on a pivot?
No, it's fixed.
It is? Okay, gotcha,
Yeah.
okay. I only ask in the event that, like, you know, it has some sort of tracking software, so if Gilderon does go in there. I'm just getting this information out of the way for Gilderon whenever it's his turn. With my turn, though, there's not really much I can do because I can't do an engineering check on this anyway. I can't do it untrained. So I'm also going to step inside this room as well with Raya.
Okay. Sayun.
Sayun is going to take the total defense action,
Okay.
which, I mean, you know, for my purposes, he's going to stand in front of Gil, right, and kind of put his shield up in front of his face, take the total defense action, which will give me a +4 bonus to my AC until the start of my next turn.
Beautiful.
Wonderful.
And he turns to Gil and says, "Anytime now."
Awesome.
I love it.
All right, so the railgun is going to fire here, and it is a ranged attack, and it's all creatures in a 60-foot line from the gun. So that will beat Gil and Sayun, but Gil's going to get some cover from Sayun. So Gil, you'll get +4 to your AC.
Okay.
So
And Sayun will also use the bodyguard reaction.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
As he kind of, you know, tries to block some of that with his
All right.
shield.
This may be good. It's an 18.
18 against KAC.
Yep.
Okay, so I get a +4 to my AC. Because of total defense. However, I think bodyguard reduces my AC by 2, right?
So here's the beautiful thing about how this works. You don't bodyguard until it tries to hit Gil.
Oh,
That
till it
is
hits
a
him.
reaction
It's a reaction.
to him potentially taking damage.
Yeah.
In that case, currently, Sayun's connected AC is 20.
Nice.
So
Okay. So now I'm going to... That 18 pushes through you to Gilderon. Gilderon, does that hit your KAC +4?
That-
with the bodyguard +2, so that's +6 total.
I think even with the bodyguard, well,
It's a
with
+6 to your KAC
just
total.
the +4, it misses. So there's no need to
Nice. Nice. So Sayun, yeah, you have your shield up. It's just like, and you're just like, just standing there holding that shield, and it's just like sparks and everything are flying off of it. And then Gilderon, you can use this opportunity to run up as it's trying to
Indeed.
reload and try to disable it with
Right.
an engineering check.
That's what I'm going to do.
Also, for what it's worth, he did bodyguard because he said he did. And, like, you don't get to determine if you bodyguard after you know the AC.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So, just going to run past Sayun and just say, "I owe you a beer," and then run past him and go to the, well, I guess I run for the door. Where is it?
Yeah.
Okay, here it is.
That's good. You're right there. Yeah.
I guess I want to go beside it, you know? It's in a line.
It's just, you're right next to it.
Okay.
You're right next to
Okay,
it.
yep. And then, engineering check.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get it.
need you to roll really well on
I'm
this
going to try my best.
Have you already used your inspiration?
I will use my inspiration.
There you go.
Yes. Ooh, baby. That is a 24 total.
Nice.
Very well done with the DC of 13. you disable it, and then you just like pull it off of its
Tripod.
mount. And now you guys have a I don't know who of you can use it, but there is a tactical rail cannon available for you guys' use.
Go.
I definitely cannot use that.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody that's proficient in heavy weapons in this
Oh,
group.
it's a heavy weapon. Okay.
Yeah.
Gilderon pulls it
But,
off
you know-
and just instantly drops it because it's too heavy for him to even hold.
Right. You could later on eventually reposition the railgun and have it serve its original purpose by pointing it the right direction
Okay.
and installing it as an anti-personnel security measure. You also see a bunch of loot in this room where the pirates had all their loot.
All right, now I'll come out of the bedroom.
Yeah, so you guys can all come in there. There's a crate. I'll give all this to you again off air, but what's in here is a crate containing 10 frag grenades, 50 sealed ready-to-eat meals, and a half-filled crate containing 10 bottles of Cascavellian Yarrowberry mead, plus another 1,000 UPBs.
Yes.
Oh, very nice.
There any powdered
take those
granola in
UPB.
those meal ready to eat?
That's all it is powdered granola.
Dusty granola.
Dusty powdered
granola,
granola. Okay, but of more interest is this wide open bay out to hell. Okay,
Right.
And so your last step here is to just check for any exterior damage. Before you start to get to work to try to fix in the situation.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
So do we
So
have-
everybody can just move their way into the cargo room. Is everybody going out into hell?
I mean, we have to go outside the
Save
ship,
him.
right? Check it. Yeah, I mean,
but you're gonna just hug the perimeter of the ship. It's not like you're going far or anything. Okay.
I mean, we've stuck together thus far. We might as well
Might as
continue to
well.
do so.
Yeah.
Once you step outside, you see that the ship first hit the ground about a half a mile away, bounced once, and then slid into this sharp and jagged obsidian mountain, which now has the nose pointed upward towards the sky. You see scorched, dry plains in all directions, only broken occasionally by geysers of fire. Volcanic rubble litters the ground, and high above, an oppressive red sun hangs low in the red sky. Sheets of twisted metal litter the ground, as do corpses of lemures or imps and other devils. If you had any doubt where you landed before now, you know that you're in hell, a lawful evil plane in the great beyond. You must be in Avernus, the first layer of hell. If somebody will give me, I guess, Gil, if you'll give me another engineering check on this wreckage.
all right, let's check this out. Let's check the damage. Right. That is a natural 20.
Nice.
Okay, so you can tell that this wreckage is the remains of a small building. Maybe it was a military watchtower of some kind, and that your ship collided with it and killed everyone within. And as you're walking around the ship to assess the damage, you spot a corpse half buried beneath the prow of the Primarana. If somebody wants to give me a mysticism check, you see the upper torso of the body. And this body has like red skins and horns and what looks like mangled remains of wings.
It's the Wicked Witch of Avernus.
Yeah.
I'll roll.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'll roll.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll check it out. We're in this
big
together.
7.
We're in this
Yikes.
together.
Yeah.
Ooh, baby. That's another natural
was that?
20 for Gilderon. That's a 27.
Nice. All right.
Look at that. Hills and valleys with you, man.
That's right.
I know.
Woo.
Skills
Gil,
all the time, but combat.
You're at 2 natural 1s, 2 natural 20s.
More like hells and valleys.
Got him.
Get out of here.
Gil, you recognize this with a little maybe start of horror inside of you, because you have crash landed on an Irenes, which is a very powerful and vengeful type of winged devil. You also see that on her wrist are some exquisite magical bracelets.
I don't mind if I do.
Because you rolled a natural 20, I'm going to roll that over. But you recognize these bracelets as crimson bangles.
Okay.
Cool.
These classy designer bracelets were made by Embroy's famous Superbia fashion house. While wearing a pair of crimson bangles once per day as a swift action, the wearer can tap the bracelets together to lock their current location into the Crimson Bangle's kinetic memory. Provided that the wearer is within 30 feet of this locked location, they can take a swift action to tap the bracelets together and teleport to the locked location. The Crimson Bangles can only lock to a single location each day, but that wearer can return to that location any number of times.
Wow.
That's a really cool item.
Cool.
Very cool.
Yes.
And I mean, I'm just saying, it matches my armor.
Yeah, let's loot this formerly deadly enemy.
She doesn't need them.
So does somebody grab them?
Yes.
Okay. You grab them, take them, put them in your pouch, and... hold on 1 second.
Gotta be some consequences to that.
Straight to jail.
My bangle.
To hell jail. All of a sudden, just hell wardens come by.
So Gil picks these up. All of a sudden, as if out of thin air, an oppressive, windy roar of an approaching starship heralds the arrival of an infernal destroyer twice the size of your crashed vessel. It descends, its shadow blotting out the sun as it hovers only a few hundred feet above, its dark underbelly laced with cables and punctuated by blinking red lights. You have but a few moments to rush back inside or face this thing head on, though facing it head on seems a fool's errand. What do you do?
Get the fuck
That's
back
right.
inside.
Run.
We've got to go.
Oh, hell.
All right, so you guys...
Oh, hell.
So you go back inside. Now, here's the problem. You go back inside, and maybe you over the comms, let the people on the bridge know what's going on. Or they say to you, they're like,
mateys, are you seeing this outside?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, we do.
Quite clearly, indeed.
and this thing is approaching. I will say that you do have about 10 minutes that you could steal yourself and otherwise take a short rest. Okay?
Okay, then let's do that.
And while you're doing that, you realize that you now have to quickly get the ship functioning again and out of here before you're overrun by the forces of hell. There are several things that you got to do, right? You got to get the power back on. You got to figure out how to use this weird engine that you have in there. You have to get this cargo door closed, and you have to actually launch the ship off of its belly with some piloting. However, as you're discussing that and it approaches, then a gigantic 12-foot tall hologram is projected from the nose of the destroyer some, 50, 60 feet away. The captain of the Inferno... Hold on, let's get some appropriate music on here for this. The captain of the Infernal vessel is a statuesque woman seated in a high-backed, spiked leather chair. Her dark hair is pulled into a tight ponytail, and her eyes glow with diabolic flame. And the inky black feathers of her wings drape from her shoulders like a plush, tailored cape. When she speaks, her common vibrates with barely contained rage.
Allow me to welcome you to hell, mortals. I am Melkanta, which you would do well to remember, else you be left with no name to curse but your own in these final moments.
She smiles threateningly.
The corpse of my sister, Sinzaria, lies beneath your pretty ship, so I must congratulate you on your efficiency. On your first day in hell, you have already sealed your damnation. Now we will gain what we seek from each other. You, the pain and death you so run toward so greedily, and I, revenge.
Malakanta rises from her chair and gestures to a tall, lanky devil in a black and red uniform. The creature has short arms and a long trunk.
Invicor, capture them and bring them aboard. I will have much time for them later.
Invicor, apparently Malakanta's lieutenant, raises his trunk and salutes. The communication ends, and we'll see ya.
We're back.
Episode 1.
Welcome to Drift Hours, I guess.
Put the bangles back real quick.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Y'all put the damn things back.
It's
so we
not
get our
the
ass kicked,
bangles.
man.
That's not the problem.
Thanks for listening to the STF Network. If you want to hear more from us, check out our other Starfinder and Pathfinder shows at the STFnetwork.com. That's the STFnetwork.com. And support us on Patreon to listen to our bonus podcasts, including our homebrew adventures and Tom Talks, our behind-the-scenes show. Stay groovy, possums.